From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Louie B.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Thursday, October the 7th, 2021. It's your digital host, Louie B. Thanks for checking us out on the Ticats Audio Network. Make sure to subscribe wherever you got this podcast so you never miss an episode for all the latest news from Ticats practice. Speaking of which, the Ticats were back at practice today, but Frankie Williams notably absent, and Coach spoke on his status, says it's a wait-and-see approach when it comes to Frankie Williams, but there is some good news as Chris Van Zyl back out there, and Coach touched on that. We'll hear from him in just a little bit. We're here from Dylan Wynn, defensive lineman of the Hamilton Ticats, and we'll hear from Bralon Addison, see how he's feeling after playing in his first game in almost 20 months. Also, coming up on today's show, I go one-on-one with the defensive coordinator of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Mark Washington. There was a big game in the CFL last night, and if you were watching it, you know that the Toronto Argonauts beat the Ottawa Redblacks by a score of 35-16. So the Redblacks kind of brought back down to earth a little bit, but kind of pretty big when it comes to the standings as the Toronto Argonauts move to 5-3. That's one full game ahead of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who are sitting at 4-4 on the year. And we know the Argos will play their 9th game of the season, while the Ticats will play their 9th as well. So the Ticats trying to keep pace and move into first place with the win. That's what that means on Monday, is that the Ticats can move back into first place in the East Division with a win over the Argonauts on Monday. Should be a great game. Hopefully you're going to make it here. There's still some limited tickets available at ticats.ca. And if you're not coming down to the game, or even if you are, you can make sure to tune in to Tiger Cats pregame with Andy Fantuz and I. That gets underway at 3 o'clock on Thanksgiving Monday. So why not make us part of your Thanksgiving plans, whether you're coming down to the stadium or not. Lots of coverage here on the Ticats Audio Network. All right, let's hear from the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cat. That is Orlando Steinauer. Here's what he had to say after practice today.
A bunch of guys ready to go to work. That's it. They were just, I won't say they were anything special, but there wasn't anything wrong, right? We just got to keep grinding and getting better. Just the experience, just taking it all in, Louie, to be honest with you. I don't really, my demeanor is, I am who I am, and we approach things the way we approach things. I feel like I'm surrounded by a bunch of great people in all facets of the organization, and I'm proud of our football team. Obviously, everything's about wins and losses, right? But every week, everybody prepares to win, and every week half the teams lose. So it's last week was a tough one, but losing's always tough, right? So as far as myself, it's not too high, not too low. You got to stay in the median for the most part, right? But there's nothing wrong with enjoying wins, but critiquing things that don't go well when obviously when you get on the other side of the scoreboard. Yeah, I think, I can't speak for other teams. I can say that we've been in that situation and we were able to come out favorable with it. I think it's just, partly it's for us, it was how healthy we were when we turned around really quick. And went to Ottawa that time on a really short rest and a travel day. And so each team's different. And I know as a player, I personally would rather probably play than practice. So I don't think that there's any disadvantage there. And once the whistle's blown, it's just another game, to be honest with you. So I can't speak for any other team. I can just say that for us, we've needed some rest, and I don't have a crystal ball to tell us if that gives us any advantage or not. Yeah, it's looking like Chris will go for us. Again, we're not going to rush him back, to be honest with you. It's going to be, he's got to be 100, obviously he's got to be medically cleared. And then, he's got to be cleared in his own mind that he's ready to go too. And so within the combination of both, we'll determine if he'll go. I would say it's trending to him going, but we're not going to stamp that down right now. Yeah, again, for Jeremiah, he hasn't played a lot of football. here recently. And at the end of the day, I know that he's a no excuse guy. I know that he thinks that he has to play better. It is the most important position on the field, and you got to believe that he will play better. So despite everything that went on in the game, we had opportunities to win and we didn't do it. And I say that in all three phases, but I think it's always true. When you get efficient play from the quarterback, it just increases your opportunity to win more consistently.
That is the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Orlando Steinauer, and some encouraging news. Chris Van Zyl, eligible to return off the 6-game injured list, so we'll keep our eye on that throughout the week. He was limited on the injury report last week, but the most outstanding offensive lineman in 2019, All-Star, East Division All-Star, League All-Star, 14-year CFL vet. Fonthill native, by the way. The pride of Fonthill, Ontario. St. Alexander Husky. Notre Dame Fighting Irish. That's in Welland, but we'll still count it anyway. But hopefully we'll connect with Chris throughout the week at some point if he is good to go, because huge matchup playing against his former Toronto Argonauts. Another former Toronto Argo is Dylan Wynn. Yes, Dylan Wynn, a former Toronto Argonaut. Had a chance to catch up with him after practice. Here's what he had to say.
We got to play our game. We got to play Ticat football, and that's, little details. The game is won and lost in probably 6 plays, and that's typical for any football game. And those 6 impact plays, they came away with, and we dropped the ball on, frankly, as the whole group, and specifically as a D-line defense, the whole group. And that's something that we get to learn from. Coach always talks about, learning from every big play and big rep that we get. And there's no bigger reps than game time reps, and that's the best, where the most learning happens. We're using it as an opportunity to grow and really form the defense that we want to play with. And you can look on the negative side of we lost the game and stuff like that, or you can look at it positive side, kind of how Kobe would always look at it, where it's, every loss, he almost got more excited over losses than wins, just because it's an opportunity to learn and grow. Today's day one. And to be honest, day one is day one is day one is day one. So, yeah, we had a little bit more time to heal up after the game, but we were here day 0. We've been watching film. We had the opportunity to watch the game, which is great, but it doesn't change our preparation, and it doesn't change how we attack, the game. We know that every single play and down opportunity we get, and, it's the biggest one. Frankly, we get 1 day is guaranteed, and not even that. So we're just happy to be here working as a whole group and learning and growing. So we're excited to get, back on and play as soon as possible. But after, it was good to get back on the field, running around with the guys. Well, I stand by it, but every game's important, and every game, obviously if you do zoom out a little bit and you see the bigger picture, it's a division game, and it's a division game against, our rival, frankly. And I'm not going to say that we'll play up anymore to the Argos, because we play up to every team we play, because there's not a single team in this league, I think, that we can sleep on, or frankly, anyone in the CFL can sleep on. That's the beauty of the CFL, is anyone can beat anyone. And but we know the task that's ahead of us, and we know it's going to be a battle, and we're looking forward to it.
That is Dylan Wynn, defensive lineman of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. All right, one more piece of post-practice sound to get to here. Bralon Addison made his first kind of game action Friday night against the Montreal Alouettes. Yeah, didn't really set the world on fire, but an efficient game for someone who hadn't really played in 20 months, finishing the game with 7 catches for 73 yards. So, considering it had been almost 2 years since he had played, I think you'd be pretty happy with 7 catches for 73 yards. But Bralon never satisfied. Here's what he offered up after practice today.
Body-wise, I'm feeling good, man. It was good to get out there and get some reps, get some game time action, get hit a little bit. And mentally, obviously, we gave up a big one. A lot of it I felt was, on me with the mishap and the fumble. So overall, I'm good, ready to move on. And, so that was day one. So I'm just trying to put that behind us and get ready for Monday. I would say so. I think not necessarily just because we haven't played in a long time. I think, especially in football, it's just hard, period, to, build that chemistry and build timing and things and to keep it going, have it stay consistent. I think you watch all the best offenses in the world. It's just something that's a tough thing is, to keep the quarterback on one accord with all his receivers is something that we try to work on every day. So I wouldn't say just because we haven't played together in a long time, I would just say it's tough in football, period. It's very fun. I think, like I told you guys last week, I think we got the deepest room I've been a part of. Like I said, last year I thought it was pretty deep, and then this year I think it got even deeper. But, those guys have been awesome. I think everybody's been a good teammate. 1 week is one guy's turn. The next week is somebody else's turn. And I think, that's what you want to have when you got a competitive room is just guys that's willing to do what they got to do, no matter if they are up and scoring all the touchdowns or if this week they might be on scout team. Guys that just committed to getting better and making everybody else better around them. They got a lot of players that are aggressive. They got players that are athletic and they play hard. Obviously, Chris Jones has had success in this league with his defense, and we know he's going to be aggressive. We're going to see some man-to-man, and we're going to see some pressure. So we're prepared for that. It's one of those games where this is what you want. I think as a competitor, you want a game like this where it's going to be physical, it's going to be, uptight, up-tempo, and every possession is going to matter.
That is Bralon Addison as he spoke to the media after practice. And for all the full comments that the players made and Coach O, you can go to ticats.ca and check out the full scrums from after practice today. All right, very pleased now to be joined by my guest today. That is the defensive coordinator of the Hamilton Ticats. That's Mark Washington. And Coach Washington, thank you so much for giving me some time today out of your busy schedule. Let's just start because 2019, it seemed like everything on both sides, all three aspects of the games, came a little bit easier to the Ticats. This year, it just doesn't seem to be happening. What's your assessment on what you've seen from the team through the first 8 games at 4-4, where we are right now?
It's a combination of a lot of things. I mean, first and foremost, every year is different. Every season is different. Our team has changed drastically. Essentially half the team is new, to our organization. And so you're going to experience changes there. And then the other 8 teams in the league, they also change. But the main thing is that we're establishing and making sure our style of play and how we want to do things is being really established. And yeah, I mean, things don't come easy. You go from the hunter to, I guess you can say, being hunted, which totally understand. I mean, everybody should have that mindset. That's how it is. But, things aren't coming as easy when you come in comparison. But, at the midway point, we're continuing to really push through how we want to establish what we're doing. And we're going to turn the corner on that.
Between you and Coach Reinbold, it seems like the draft class of 2020 and 2021, they've really made an immediate impact. And Mason Bennett, we just heard from Coach, is going to be out, but the way he came into the lineup and had an impact. Stavros has been all over the field. What can you say about your kind of class of rookies? I know they're not rookies anymore, but the class of guys that you've gotten in the last couple of years here and their ability to kind of buy into what you're doing?
A lot of credit goes to Drew, and a lot of credit goes to Sean Burke. Those guys, our personnel staff, they work tremendously hard in the draft, and they know how to find these guys. And we were fortunate enough to be in the position that we were in to draft those guys, and these are high character men who've come in, they bought in, and that's been the key. They're still rookies that make a lot of rookie mistakes and things like that, but they're starting to understand what it means to be a Hamilton Tiger Cat, and then they get on the field and it allows their skill and their talents to and their heart and everything like that to come out. So these guys are really They're adding to our team, and they should be really good players for a long time.
And then on the other end of it, I mean, you have Mike Daly, you have Simone Lawrence and Teddy and Dylan. I mean, it seems like it's a perfect mix for these veterans to kind of pass on what they know while still being kind of the best at their position while doing it.
Well, I mean, that's the balance. That's the mix that you want. You want it where, your veterans and your rookies, that's what the team is all about. I mean, in a family, you don't have just a bunch of old people. In a family, you don't have a bunch of young people. You have a nice mix. And when the family can get along together and, the experience from the experienced ones can be passed down. And then more importantly, when the young ones are willing to accept it and to incorporate it in their own lives, in their game on the field, that's when things begin to work for you.
Your coaches as well. I mean, Craig Butler has come in, 2019, and we've seen the Ticats secondary just continue to grow and be successful. And we've seen pieces come in and out, but he seems to always manage to do really well with the group he has. Coach Melvin's the same way. I mean, across the board, what have you seen from your coaches so far here in 2021?
These guys, I mean, first of all, I mean, between Randy and Robin, we're close to 90 years of coaching experience, and Craig, I think, adds another 5 or 6. So, I mean, we're over 100 years when you put me in, right? So they bring a lot of experience, but more importantly, their expertise and their passion. They know how to communicate with the men. They're masters at their craft, and what they're doing. And, we all understand the messaging and what we're doing and the things that we're pushing. So, I mean, you put all that together with the skill and the experience that they have. And then once again, the willingness for the players to accept it and to buy in, now you're getting into a relationship that'll work.
Looking at the remaining games that the Ticats have in the regular season, you got 6 here. A lot of them are at home, but again, there are some challenges. How do you prepare the guys? And I'm sure it's 1 week at a time, but how do you prepare the guys for, especially the rookies, which like you said, you have a lot of, for this home stretch, this game where you need to start finding a way to hit your stride and be the best version of yourselves? Well,
that's exactly the point, of what you're saying, stressing to these men, this next stretch of games are very critical, but how we do in this organization. We are really focused on the next game, because each game in itself and how it sets up and the scenarios that we're in, all those things change. The only thing that doesn't change is your next opponent that's there. And that's what you have to really focus on. Now, do we understand the importance of it? Do we understand, the strategic moves that it can do when it comes to standings and things? Yeah, we understand that. But you can't be in a position where you're in watching. You have to really focus on the here and now, be in the moment, be where you are, and really focus on what's the task that's right ahead of you.
And that's the Argos, and the Argos coming off a big win. You're trying to keep pace with them. Is there something to be said about playing a team 4 times in a season? I know you're not the same team you were the first 2 times you played them. They're not the same team. But is there something to be said about playing a team 4 times over the course of a 14-game schedule?
It's a little weird, but I remember even when I played back in the 90s, we would play, a team 4 and 5 times. And you may even get it 6 times when it came to playoffs and then preseason, right? So, I mean, it's not unprecedented. It's happened before, and, they're a really good team. So it doesn't matter the number of times. It's like, all right, this time, whether this is the 3rd time, 4th time, 10th time we play them, this is the time that's most important right now.
All right, what are you going to have to do defensively to pick up a win here on Monday, Thanksgiving Monday here?
We're going to have to play our brand of football, Ticat D football. They're a really good team when they live on that deep ball and those guys, the Vars Daniels, he is really up the field, and then probably 8 will be back. All these guys will be back, and John White, and the running game, as we saw last week, really, took off. So, I mean, we're going to have our hands full trying to contain these guys, but, that's the challenge that we face every single week, But I know our men, they'll be prepared and they'll be up for it, and they'll do the job.
Coach Washington, thanks so much for giving me some time here today. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. No problem at all. Thank you.
My thanks to Coach Washington for joining me today, and my thanks to you for tuning in. Always do appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network so you never miss an episode about anything of your favorite team, that being the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We're back tomorrow for Ticats Today. Thanks for checking us out for the Ticats Audio Network. I'm Louie B. Hoping you have a great day.
Ticats Today with Louie B. Subscribe, like, and get your Ticats fix every weekday.